16th, 2021 hearing of the Seminole County, Florida Special Magistrate. Before we begin, I'd like to advise everyone about the procedures that govern appearances before me. This meeting is open to the public under Florida's Government in the Sunshine Law. Therefore, every effort will be made to hear all persons having relevant evidence or argument to offer. The ethics law of the state of Florida requires that the county keep track of every person who appears before an official hearing officer of the county, whether in an effort to influence the special magistrate's decision-making or to encourage the passage, defeat, or modification of any proposal or recommendation of the special magistrate. In order to implement the state law, it is required that every person who appears before the special magistrate be registered with the clerk, to my left. The cases where the respondents are present and signed in will be heard first. You will be sworn in or affirmed by the clerk. Once all cases where the respondents are present have been heard, I will return to hear the remaining cases as they appear on the agenda. When your case is called, please be seated at the table reserved for the respondents, which is the blue table right here. In that the county has the burden of proving a violation exists, the county will present their case, and then the respondent will be allowed to present their case. Additionally, please limit your comments to only information relating to the case. Each party may question witnesses offered on behalf of the other party. If you just arrived, please come to the clerk and sign in. Each party may question witnesses offered on behalf of the other party. Additionally, staff members may question those appearing before me. The special magistrate will then make the decision based upon the evidence and testimony presented by both parties. All proceedings before me are electronically recorded. Please speak directly into the microphone at the center of the table and state your name clearly before presenting your case. Should you need assistance due to a hearing impairment or a language barrier, please inform the clerk upon registration. I gave that to you. To avoid interference with cases being presented to the special magistrate, all cell phones and other electronic devices are to be turned off or silenced while inside the chambers. Thank you for your cooperation. I think there's one other person waiting for you.
Hello?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
We'll get started in just a minute.
And are you Michael Viviano?
I am.
Okay.
Andy.
That's it?
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now change it back.
Yep.
Michael.
Okay, if anyone's going to be testifying today, could you please stand and raise your right hand?
Please stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in if you will be testifying.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give today is the truth? I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the first case we will call is case number 2102, CESM, Christopher Shirley and Unique Vinegar. You can come up to the blue table right here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The county is going to present its case first, and then we'll let you have a chance to speak if you'd like to.
Okay.
For the record, the name is Vicki Hathaway, Building Inspector with Seminole County Building Division. This is in regards to case number 2102, CESM, Christopher Shirley and Unique Vinegar at 103 North Sunland Drive, Sanford, in Seminole County, Florida. The violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Description of unpermitted violations, construction of a porch into an enclosed living quarters area. Oops, let me go to the next slide. The initial inspection happened on 5/26/20. Notice to the respondent went out the same day, given a compliance date of March 1st, 2021. executive order suspended due to the executive order started in March 17th, 2020 and lasted through March 1st, 2021. Site visits were conducted on 5/26/20, 11/17/20, 12/08/20, March 16th, 20, May 6th, 21st, and May as of today for the actual site and computer visits. The following inspections followed on the computer the same times. The violation still currently remains on the property. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website showing that Christopher H. Shirley and Yannick Finnegar are owners of the property. This is a copy of the green card that they received, the notice of receipt, was returned to us on 4/7/21.
I have a question on that one, sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Is that a receipt for the notice of violation or the notice of hearing?
The notice of hearing.
Okay.
This is the actual call that came in when I went out on 5/26/20 of reports of construction being done in the back porch area, and I could see that there was a roof structure that didn't look like it was fitting the actual roof structure itself. When you look, you can see there's been like kind of an addition that's lifted the roof line to enclose the back porch, taken on 5/26/20 as well. Upon entrance of the property, I noticed that there's actually what we consider like a crow's nest up there where the roof has been lifted up, taken on 12/8/20. Again, on 12/8/20 of the roof line. Inside area of the porch that's being enclosed in 2 living quarters. And again, more pictures from 12/8/20. An actual picture of the shower that's going in on 12/8/20. And again, outside areas of the exterior of the home on 12/8/2020. This is a copy of our permitting system right now. They do have a permit on file and is working with staff in order to get compliance of the enclosed porch area. At this point, there are no permits issued to correct the violations. This is a copy of the Seminole County Chapter 40 Appendix A regarding the permitting process. The recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case number 2020-2102 CESM. It's determined that the respondents are the record owners of the property located at 103 North Sunland Drive in Sanford in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property and in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It is further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondents to correct the violations on or before July 14th of 2021. In order to correct the violations, the respondents shall obtain the required permits for the cited violations. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 a day will be imposed for each day the violations continue or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. So if I had it right, the date that you have on the page that showed when they applied for permits, that was in April 16th?
Let me go back and look. It would have been April 16th of 2021.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I got that right. And the notice of hearing went out right before that?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Hi, would you like to respond?
Yes, I would.
Okay, and just not to interrupt you, but just first state your name for the record and if you're the owner of the property.
So my name is Yannick Finnegar, and yes, I'm the owner at 103 North Sunland Drive.
Thank you.
So in our defense, I will say we did receive the violation May 26th of 2020 last year. We're confused because we bought the property with that rise or lift-up roof, bird-type lookout, I don't know the correct name, but we purchased the property with that. We came to the county building, I don't know if they keep track of where we came, but we have been here over 6 different times. Mr. Shirley came with my oldest daughter 3 times, I came twice to submit paperwork for the permit. However, there's always conflict because we did not build the original porch, so we did not have approval numbers. We were told to get drawings, We were told to get electrical calculations. We did all those. Whenever we came back, it's always a barrier because we never built the structure to begin with. So we never had approval codes for the doors, the windows, nothing, because we got it like that. We purchased the property back in 2012. I have paperwork from the appraisal that says the structure was built in 1980. I wasn't even born then. But we are responsible for doing the remodeling. So we submitted paperwork after we got the letter for the hearing to get the permit. However, there's still a barrier because we don't have those proper approval codes. The drawings itself was made last year, and then the code was changed to 2020, and I think they did it in 2017. So we're still working on that with the engineer to get those drawings.
Okay. Let me make sure I follow you. You bought the house in 2012?
Yes.
And this structure that is at issue was already there, right?
Yes.
And are you saying 1980 was the date the home was built, or that's when you think the structure?
That structure. So where we had the first barrier was, we have a permit for new roof that was put in March of 2012. It says it was 36 square inches, or square whatever, I think inches or something. The structure is the only structure on that property with the shingles roof, the picture that Ms. Hathaway had, and then the other structure was like a flat roof. So it was always a question as if they inspected and granted a permit for the roof, what were we putting the roof on? Because, so I'm thinking the inspector came out, inspected the roof, and it was correct. So we have that permit. So it was always the question like, okay, so if they permitted roof for this structure, why am I in violation of this exact structure that we put a roof on?
Understood. Do you wish to respond?
I don't have a response on the actual roof itself. The phone call came in regards to the interior construction that was continuing out there and the addition that kept getting bigger and bigger on the property when I came and got in contact with the owners, and they did grant me permission to come into the house. I know that they are currently working with plans reviewers right now, with one of our plans reviewers in order to go over this, but the construction continued to build out on the property, which is what brought me to the property in the first place.
So you received a complaint?
Yes.
Okay. So do you agree that the addition was existing since 1980?
There has been an addition that we can see in records for somewhat there, but they're continuing to build out this property that they bought in as is to finish it.
Understood. Okay. Go ahead.
So my response is, I'm just saying it's choice of words. So we're not building out. This structure is enclosed. When we got it, we could have moved in there and lived just like that because it had a roof, it had doors, it had windows, it had a flooring. We're remodeling the exact structure. It's like this table, I'm changing the tablecloth and I'm putting in different fixtures, but the perimeter still exists.
Okay. Let me ask you, what is the nature of your remodeling? What are you changing?
So we're converting that structure into like a bedroom suite.
So like a bathroom with plumbing,
Exactly.
electricity, and a bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was there any plumbing or electricity
Yes.
in there before?
Well,
Yes.
the electricity does exist. They had an AC unit. The plumbing, just minor stuff, but not major, like,
There was a sink there.
yes, there was a
Sink
sink
with
to
water.
the corner, yeah.
Okay.
Just that sink.
And I'm sorry, sir, if you want to add anything, you're welcome to. I just need your name for the record so that it's in the notes.
Christopher Shirley,
Okay. And you are the
owner.
co-property owner?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did you have anything else to add?
Let's see what else. And I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just,
No, I don't think you're being rude at all.
okay. I have evidence to show the covered patio, that it was built of December 1980.
Okay. When you decided to do the remodel work with the plumbing and just the interior, did you pull any permits at all for that? Or
No.
you did not know that you needed?
No, we didn't.
Okay. So then let's say you got the notice of violation in 2020, but then you got the notice of hearing in April of 2021. Did you do anything in between that year to get your permitting? Or
We
did you?
did. So we visited here I wish I had the dates written down. But we visited, I think it was 5 times, and then last week was the 6th time. I have emails between Ms. Hathaway and myself that I would always communicate with her for extension, which she granted. She came back to the property just to explain to us. I wasn't there at the time, but I have the email to explain to us exactly what we were in violation with. Because like I said, we have always been confused and having questions, so she came back. Then the drawings I have, what date? I think the date was like last July, August, early part of August. So we did that, we did the calculations, that was done around the same time. However, when we came back, the approval codes weren't correct because we didn't know the correct codes for the windows that we had. There were no stickers on the window to say, this is the number, so we didn't have that. So there's always a barrier, but yes, we always plan on correcting this violation. We show up. I've spoken to Tom, I've spoken to Liz, different people, just to see how we can correct this.
Where's your permit at now? Do you know if there's a holdup?
So there is a holdup, because like I said, the plans were drawn up to 2017 code, our approval codes, and they need it for 2020. So the engineer emailed me yesterday, actually, and she's working on those plans to correct them.
Okay. Did she give you a time frame for when she thinks she will have
I
them
think
updated?
she'll be finished sometimes this week, because we reached out to her last Tuesday.
Okay. I'm trying to determine if this 60 days is realistic for the county. Is it? I know you're not in the permitting department. I mean, once they submit these updated plans, is it realistic for the county to get that in within 45 days?
We are very busy right now, I will say that, with the construction that's going on. I know they are working with Tom to stay current and to make sure that they're communicating back and forth. If something is needed, what is needed for that.
Okay.
Because whenever you add these structures to enclose an area, they're going to have the product approval forms, all those types of things. Depending on how fast their engineer can get it to them, how fast they can communicate the information back and forth, and how fast that Tom can get back to them, which is basically either a phone call, or we return the call, or we set up another meeting.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the 60 days without a fine right now. So you have 60 days to get this done. If it's not done within 60 days, at that point, a fine of $50 a day could attach. What you want to do is stay in touch with staff, because if, something causes a legitimate delay and they believe you should be given more time, you can come back in 60 days and request it, but you have to be working with them so that there's a justification to give you that extension. Don't disappear and stop talking to them. Stay in touch, show them that you're working in good faith to come into compliance, which I believe you are. But it sounds like you might be able to finish this up in 60 days. If you do, you're not going to have any more problems here.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay, because the property is in violation right now since you don't have the permits, but you'll have 60 days to come into compliance. At that time, you would, if it's not in compliance within 60 days, you'll get another notice of hearing, so you'd have another chance to speak before the daily fine is imposed.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we doing 60 days, which would be July 12th, or are we doing the July 14th that was recommended?
What we have on there July 14th.
Did you mean 12th, or is 14th good?
The 14th would put us at exactly
60 days?
the 60 days. If they weren't compliant, they could make that appointment to come in and be at that hearing if they needed to be there.
Yeah. I mean, either way, it's after the July hearing date, so I'm fine with July 14th.
Okay.
You'll have till July 14th, but please don't wait till the last minute, because I'm sure you would love to have this. Thank you.
Thank you. We can leave?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.
The next hearing is 2106 CESM, respondents Eldis Hernandez and Yamil Quintana.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. We're going to allow the county to present their case because they have the burden of proof, and then we'll give you a chance to respond, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
For the record, the name is Vicki Hathaway. With Seminole County Building Division in regards to case number 2106, CESM, Eldis Hernandez and Yamali Quintana at 2705 Dorado Court, Apopka in Seminole County, Florida. Violation charged is description of unpermitted violations, which is just shed and a fence. Let me go here. The initial inspection was done on 5/28 of 2020. Notice to respondent went out the same day, given a compliance date of 3/1/2021. Regarding the executive order suspending of tolling on 3/17/2020 through 3/1/2021. Site visits were conducted on 05/28/20, 06/29/20, 03/16/21, 05/6/21, and 05/13/21. Via computer inspections follow-ups as well, the violations still remained on the property. This is a copy of the property appraisers of Eldis Hernandez and Yamali Quintana, showing that they are the property owners. This is a copy of the green card of the certified return receipt received on 4/7/21. This is a picture of the fence that was taken on 05/20 of 2020. This is a copy of the shed and the fence that had gone up as well across the front of the property. A photograph again of taken on the fence of 06/2020. And again, a photograph of the fence that was taken on 06/29 of 2020. Photograph of the fence and the shed taken on 3/18/21. The shed is still on the property as of 5/11/21, and the fence is still on the property as of 5/13/21 along with the shed. There is a permit issued for the shed at this current time for a demolition of the shed. However, the shed still remains on the property and the fence has not been permitted at this point in time.
Okay, when did they submit that permit for the demolition? Did it say April?
The demolition was, the permit was submitted for April 15th of 2021.
So that's in process on the county side?
That would, no, it's issued to them.
Oh, they have it, but they haven't taken it down?
But they haven't taken it down.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. This is a copy of the Seminole County Chapter 40 Appendix A regarding the permitting process that's required. The recommendation is based on the testimony and the evidence presented in the case number of 2106 CESM. It's determined that the respondents are the record owners of the property located at 2705 Dorado Court, Apopka in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. In order for the respondents to correct the violations on or before July 14th of 2021, in order to correct that violation, the respondents shall obtain the required permits for the cited violations. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Sir, do you wish to respond?
Excuse me.
Yes?
He don't speak too much English. Me either, but I speak a little more. It's true that she say, in Apple, I coming with him, he take the permit for demolition the shed, but after 1 week or two, I don't know, the son need to go to the hospital with the big surgery on the back, on the ribs, and for that, he no start and demolition the shed because the children needed care, watching all the time, move it every 30 minutes, take the shower, change the clothes, everything. And for that, he no start demolition the shed.
Okay, this was his wife?
The wife is the same, but
I'm sorry, who had the surgery? I missed that. Who had the surgery?
the son.
Oh, okay, the son.
He have the
Okay.
paper, the hospital, he have a paper, the surgery, and photo,
Okay,
and everything. But the wife no count, only she with the son.
okay,
It need help all the time.
okay.
because it's big surgery, and he needed all the time move it every 30 minutes and go to the bathroom and help, take a shower, whatever. If for that, he no take care of the shirt.
Understood. When was the surgery, may I ask?
¿Qué día fue la cirugía?
19, 19 el mes pasado.
La cirugía.
19 el mes pasado. Encontré los papeles.
Okay, let me see the paper.
Fue el 19, operación. Tiene aquí los papeles, aquí están todos, yo se los enseño.
You don't have to tell me the exact
You want to
date.
see the papers?
No, no, you don't have to share that.
He taken the surgery in 19,
Of April?
yeah, 19.
Okay, of April. I'm sorry, sir. And what did you say your name was for the record?
The name of what?
You.
My name is Carlos
And last name?
Vives, V-I-V-E-S.
Okay. You are not the property owner?
No, I am the friend,
You're a friend?
yeah.
Okay. And you're authorized to speak for the gentleman to your left, for him?
Yeah, because he don't understand too much.
Okay.
Me either, but a little better.
I'm just trying to make a clear record. And what's his name? What's your name? Eldis Hernandez?
Eldis Hernandez.
Okay, so you're the property owner, Mr. Hernandez, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The owner, okay. Do we have a translator? Here?
Is Alex available or Manny?
No.
I don't think Alex is here.
I think Manny.
Can Mr. Hernandez, can you understand our conversation?
No?
No?
Available?
Manny's in there.
He's in there, I don't know if he's around.
Nobody's thinking of our Manny.
Possibly so that he can, yeah. Okay, let me just see if I can get a translator so that he can understand us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we'll just take a 5-minute break.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. We will call this hearing back to order, and I will turn it over to the clerk to swear in the translator.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so going back to where we left off, if he can just tell us if he authorized his friend to speak for him earlier?
¿Autorizaste a su amigo para hablar de su parte?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just remember where we left off now.
Do you want me to back the slide up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Can you just give a brief summary of the issue for the translator to
Sure.
translate, please? Thank you.
Sure. We have a brief summary of what the actual violation is, which is the fence that goes along this line here that's connected to the neighbors.
Okay, give him a minute to translate over.
Ok. Tenemos un horario de lo que está con la cerca contra tú y su vecino.
Okay? I just want to make sure the respondent knows what he's responding to.
Sure. They require a permit for the fence. There is a demolition permit for the shed, however, it's not demoed yet, and they'll need to contact me when it does come down. The permit is good for 6 months, okay?
Okay. So basically, he needed a demolition permit to take down the unpermitted shed.
Shed.
And he got the permit, but he did not take down the shed. His friend testified earlier that the reason he didn't take it down was because his son had surgery in April. I just want to verify if that's accurate.
Quieren verificar información. Ha sido un permiso para demolizar un shed. Hicieron que sacaste un permiso para demolizar la shed.
La
Pero-
CEP y el lector.
Y entonces cuando fueron para hacer la inspección, vieron que la shed todavía estaba en la propiedad. Su amigo fue testigo que había cirugía con su hijo, por eso la shed quedaba. ¿Es correcto?
Es correcto, yo tengo todos los papeles aquí de la cirugía.
It is correct. He has paperwork to corroborate that
Okay.
situation.
How much, when does he think he can take, well, first tell him, I hope his son is doing well, but now, how long does he need to get the shed demolished?
La señora dice que espera que su hijo se sana. Ahora, ¿cuánto tiempo necesitas para demolizar la shed?
¿El chet o la CEP?
Sí, la shed, el shed.
Yo este mes ya lo tuve porque él tiene hasta el 17. Ya el 17 tiene que entrar a la escuela, que de hecho no va a poder entrar, van a tener que darle más días. Pero yo en este mes lo pienso tumbar ya. En este mes mismo. ¿Me entiendes?
He says that his son will be returning to school on the 17th, but he can take down the shed this month if he has to.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful. Give me just one sec to follow up with the county on something. Is the shed the only
The fence-
violation, or is it also the
The
fence?
fence will either need to be permitted or it needs to come down.
Okay, and the fence we do not have a permit for yet?
That is correct, and we're talking the front section of the fence, that's his, because he's connected to the neighbors who are permitted.
I see, so it's just the front. Do you have any reason to think that's in a setback or anything wrong, or do we think this is a simple no idea or no
I
idea?
have no idea.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what their setback is.
Okay, I'm just asking.
I would imagine, looking at the fence moving up, that they're probably behind what the setback is.
Okay.
It just needs a permit.
Okay, so that should be something they can do within 60 days.
Sure.
Okay. Please let him know that the other issue, the other violation is the fence has no permit, and that either needs to come down or obtain a permit.
La cerca que está enfrente de su casa no hay permiso. Necesita un permiso para mantener la cerca o lo tienes que tumbar.
Las dos que están en los lados.
No, la que está enfrente.
The one that's in front or the one
Just
that's on
the
the
front.
sides?
The sides are already permitted by his neighbors, so it's just the front.
La que está a los lados ya tienes un permiso. La que está enfrente no hay permiso.
Como enfrente, la de madera
Sí, pero es que están cerca, las que están de madera y siempre han estado, que fue lo que hablamos el otro día, que siempre han estado ahí. Ahora, de que no hayan sacado permiso, que las hizo es otra cosa, ellas siempre han estado. Yo las que dije fue las que estaban adelante. Las de atrás, cuando yo compré ahí, estaban ahí.
He just would like to clarify that when he purchased the home, it existed, the front fence.
Yes, understood. Even though he's not the one that put it up, he's there now, so he's got to have a permit for it. So he just needs to come in and pull the permit, or he can take it down. But we're not saying you can't have it, we're saying apply for the permit if you want to keep it.
Dice que cuando compraste la casa, que la cerca es tuya. Así que tienes la opción, puedes mantener la cerca y tienes que sacar un permiso para tener esa cerca ahí. Si no la quieres, la puedes demolizar.
Pero tienen que sacar un permiso para mantenerla esa como están ahí.
In order for him to keep the fence, he just would like to clarify, he would have to have a permit.
Correct.
And if he would like to take it down, he doesn't need a permit.
I don't believe you need a demolition permit, correct?
No.
Para mantener la cerca necesitas un permiso, pero si la quieres demolizar, no necesitas permiso.
Sí, no, de hecho yo tengo el permiso para demolerla en la cerca y del cheque.
Pero no necesitas permiso para demolizar la cerca que está enfrente, si no la quieres. Si la quieres mantener, necesitas un permiso, la que está enfrente.
Okay.
¿Entiendes?
He understands.
Okay, so thank you. What I'm going to do is give him 60 days to come into compliance. There's no fines during that time. However, if the fence and the shed are not either removed or permitted within that time, a fine may be assessed, but he'd be called back to another hearing for that. So basically, he has 60 days to come into compliance.
Tienes 60 días para sacar un permiso para demolizar la shed y para permitir la cerca. Durante ese periodo de 60 días no van a poner una multa. Si no hay permiso para la shed y la cerca, después de las 60 días vas a encontrar una multa.
Él tiene permiso.
No, pero para demoler. Sí, pero que tiene 60 días para... Ok.
Understood?
Understood.
Okay, does he know to come to staff with any questions and just work with them if issues come up so that they understand that he's trying to come into compliance and they can help him get there if he has issues, questions? Okay.
Si hay preguntas, si hay preocupaciones, tienes la oportunidad de hacer una llamada para hablar con los empleados aquí, que están aquí para ayudarte si algo un problema que encuentras durante ese tiempo.
Gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's all.
Pero yo preguntar que si cuando él demuela la fence y el shed, él necesita hacerle saber o ellos van a unir.
Ellos van a ir a inspeccionar.
Ellos van a inspección.
Hay que hacerle saber ahí, ¿no?
His question, the question is, when he goes to demolish the fence and the shed, will he have to make a phone call to advise on this case?
When they are removed, he should call staff and tell them, because then they come back out to verify that he has come into compliance.
Okay.
Correct?
Usted tiene que venir aquí para verificar que ya lo hiciste.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
He understands. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. He'll also get a copy of the order in the mail, but my question for staff is it only in English? We don't have a way to... Okay, he'll get the order in the mail in English, so if he needs somebody to translate, he should... I'm going to tell him now what it says. 60 days, if it's not in compliance within 60 days, then there could be a fine. So just keep in touch. But I think you've told him that. I just want to be clear, because the order is in English.
Para estar claro, vas a recibir por correo una letra escribiendo el orden. El orden que por los 60 días no vas a tener una multa, pero después de los 60 días, si no hay una resolución, vas a encontrar una multa. Eso es lo que ella quiere que usted se entienda.
He understands.
Okay, thank you. Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Gracias, papá.
That's it.
Vamos, oye. Ya estamos. 60 días para demoler. Después cuando demuela, bien.
Thank you for your help.
Tira foto tú mismo y le dices, ya terminé.
Okay, the next case is 2104, thank you, CESM, Michael and Nanette Viviano.
I'm sorry.
Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. The county will present their case, and then we will hear from you next, if that's okay. Thank you.
For the record, name is Vicki Hathaway, Building Inspector with Seminole County Building Division for Seminole County. This is in regards to case number 2104 CESM, Michael F. Viviano and Nanette Viviano at 8221 Via Bonita in Sanford, Seminole County, Florida. The violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. The description of the unpermitted violation is an actual greenhouse. This is a copy of the actual initial inspection report that went out on 5/5 of 2020. Notice to respondent went the same day, given a compliance date of 3/1 of 21. The executive order suspending enforcement of tolling, which started on 3/17/2020 and lasted through 3/1/2021. Site visits were conducted on 5/5 of 2020, 3/16 of 2021, 5/11/2021, and 5/13 of 2021, with via computer visits the same dates as those. The violation still currently remains on the property. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website showing that Michael Vigliano and Nanette Vigliano are the owners of the property. This is a copy of the return receipt received on 4/7/21. This is a picture in the background that you can see the white building that's back there. That is the actual greenhouse right back in here. That was taken on 3/16 of 2021. This is another one on 5/11 of 2021. And then this morning on 5/13 of 2021, the greenhouse still remains. This is a copy of the actual permitting system that we have, and as of 5/12, and actually as of this morning, no permits have been issued for the greenhouse. This is a copy of the Seminole County Chapter 40 Appendix A regarding the permitting process and the requirements. Recommendation based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case number 2104 CESM, it's determined that the respondents are the record owners of the property located at 8221 Via Bonita in Sanford in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 40 Appendix A Section 105.1. It's further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondents to correct the violations on or before July 14, 2021. In order to correct the violation, the respondents shall obtain the required permits for the cited violation. If the respondents do not comply with this order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact the inspector to verify compliance if decided to take it down and remove it. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. And you said no permits pulled at all yet? Okay.
No.
Okay, thank you. Hi, sir, would you like to respond?
Yeah, I think
And I'm sorry to interrupt, I need your name for the
my
record.
name is Michael, my name's Michael Viviano. I think there's a misunderstanding. She's calling it a greenhouse, and it's a temporary structure. As per Seminole County, I had it here before you started. The definition of a temporary shelter, or where is it? I apologize, I had it all printed and got nervous and left it in the car.
That's okay, we can wait for you to pull it up. And when you do, let me know the code section number as well, please.
I was just in the definitions
Oh,
of it.
okay.
Well, I'll give you the definition of a structure, and it's Part 51, Chapter 30. Anything constructed, erected, placed upon ground having over 75 feet, or 75% of its total area under roof, including illustrations of, not limitations to buildings, cabins, factories, manufactured homes, sheds, and other similar structures. But right here, this is where another miscommunication maybe, or maybe I'm reading it wrong. So shed similar structures, provided however, the structures having a total building permit value of less than $1,000 shall be exempt from this definition. So it was less than $1,000, to me that's exempt from being called a structure. And there's another definition of portable, there it is, portable structure. A structure that is designed to be removed and that can readily dismantled for moving, including calf pens, fairing pens, animal feed, shelters, units, and temporary silos. So this thing it bolts together, it's got a canvas tarp over it. It's a portable structure.
Okay, let me ask some questions to the county. Are portable structures required to have a permit?
The small carports that we typically have that are the portable carports, we do allow those if they're tied down, but we like to verify that those are tied down. But if it's going to stay as a permanent structure on the property, then there are requirements that have to be met. I spoke to Mr. Viviano because this came in as a complaint to our office in regards to the shed that was there. But when he let me in to inspect the shed, because it had been there before, even our permitting system was in place and verified by the stamped concrete in there that I was able to allow the shed to go. And I was really kind of surprised that we were continued with the greenhouse because of the fact that we've been in contact back and forth with each other. So I kind of thought maybe he would obtain the permit for the permanent, it's become a permanent structure.
So
And there's
it's
been
a-
complaints on it.
So what makes it permanent or temporary, just to get that fact?
The framing on
Figured
the
out.
inside of a greenhouse is completely different than what's in just one of those portable carports.
Okay, so the county's position is this is a permanent structure.
It is the building official's decision that it needs to be permitted if it's going to stay permanent.
Okay. Do you have plans to take it down? Because,
No, I don't have, didn't have plans to take it down, obviously, but I want to know the definitions here too, because is it a greenhouse?
I'm not sure that it matters. If it's based on the building official's review of the construction, he's requiring a permit, right? Do I have that right?
That's correct. If it's a permanent structure, it's going to require a permit.
Which he has determined it is. And
Yes.
you have no intent to take it down.
What makes it a permanent structure? I
Sounds
mean,
like the construction.
The way I've read some of the code is if it can be moved, if you periodically move it, then it's not a permanent structure. And if I got to move it, I'll move it.
So
I mean, it's not hard to move. So for me to pull a permit for that, I have to get engineered drawings, a survey. By the time I do all that, it's cost me more than what the structure, thing cost me.
I do have a question about that exemption. Is there an exemption from requiring a permit if something is less than $1,000?
I've never heard that.
Okay.
I got it off your website definitions.
But what you're reading is a definition of a structure. It doesn't mean you
Correct.
don't need a permit. That's my
But-
question.
but-
You can have something that needs a permit you can have a shed that costs less than $1,000, and you still need a
Yes.
permit.
Yes.
So I'm not sure cost is a criteria for whether a permit is needed. That's my question. But it sounds like,
It's not a matter of cost, it's whether or not the object can become projectile, can lift in the wind during storms and events, and that it's an actual that it's safe for the neighbors around them, that it meets the setback requirements off the fence line.
Okay, so these are the reasons that permits are required. Safety of yourself, your neighbors.
I completely understand, but I'm trying to, how do I get engineer drawings of a thing that's already built?
Well, that's usually
You know
why
what
we
I'm
get the
saying?
permit
But
first.
It's just,
But-
it's not, I won't win this argument, it's not even worth it. I'll
Well,
have it taken care of by the 30th, what was it, whatever the date is on here,
it's July 14th.
14th, no problem.
Okay, thank you. So
Yeah.
ordered. Okay, the next case is 2103 CESM, Armand and Sarah Cohen. And it looks like that respondent is not here, so.
They're not here. Vicki Hathaway, Building Inspector for Seminole County Building Division, in regards to 2103 CESM Armand Cohen and Sarah Cohen at 226 South Crystal Drive, Sanford, Seminole County, Florida. Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Description of the unpermitted violation: it's constructed an outdoor area or structure with roofs. This is a copy of the initial inspection report that was done on 2/28 of 2020. Notice to the respondent went out on 2/28 of 2020. Compliance given an extension date of 3/13 of 2020. Executive order, again, it goes back to 3/17/2020 to 3/1 of 2021. Several site visits were performed on 11/4/2019, 2/28/20, 3/16/2021, 0/5/6/2021, and also this morning as of well. Several inspections were done via computer as of today as well. The violation still currently remains on the property. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website showing that that Armand and Sarah Cohen are the property owners of the property. This is a copy of the green card that they received regarding the returned certified receipt that was done on 4/7 of 2021. This is a picture of the actual structure that was taken on 11/4 of 2019. And again, the structure's on 11/4 of 2019. This is another picture, not a very good one. It was pouring down rain that day, on 5/6/2021. And this was on 5/6 of 2021. And as of this morning, this is still, the structures are still on the property. This is a copy of the permitting system that has no permits in there at all for the actual structures that have been installed.
What's the May 2021 permit?
This one right here, that's for an air conditioner.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. This is a copy of the Seminole County Chapter 40 regarding, Appendix A regarding permitting process and requirements. The recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in the case number of 2103 CESM. Is determined that the respondents are the record owners of the property located at 226 South Crystal Drive, Sanford, in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It's further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondents to correct the violations on or before July 14, 2021. In order to correct the violations, the respondents shall obtain the required permits for the cited violation. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact the inspector to verify the compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. The only question I have is, because the respondent's not here, just want to make sure, you had the green card for the notice of hearing in there. What was the receipt on the notice of violation, or was it posted, or did you get a green card back? Because for the record, I want to be clear that they
It
have
was mailed to them.
Okay, and for the record, we have the green card. And that's for the notice of violation?
Yes, that's for the notice of hearing.
Okay, that one I saw, but what about the initial notice that went out?
The official notice, we do not send our certified mail. We have so many that come in and out of here all the time that are not compliant that we just send it through the regular mail via simple mail.
Have you heard from this property owner?
I have not heard from them, no.
Okay.
They've-
Okay.
They've seen me on the property, sitting on the, Friday they saw me out there, but no, I've not heard from them.
Okay. Offhand, I thought the statute required certified mail for the notice of violation.
I have not sent anything out certified since I've been in this role.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and issue the order requested since the notice of hearing was received and you've presented evidence establishing the violation. So I will find the violation and give the respondent 60 days to come into compliance. If not, a fine of $50 may be imposed for each day the violation continues. Okay, the next case is 2105 CESM. Respondent Roberto Infante.
Okay, where is is this thing off? Did my battery die? Like, what the heck? Here we go. 2105?
Yes.
Thank you.
Roberto Infante.
Thank you. For the record, Vicki Hathaway, Building Inspector for Seminole County Building Division. This is in regards to 2105 CESM Roberto Infante at 3622 Leota Drive, Apopka, Seminole County, Florida. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. The description of the unpermitted violations, interior and exterior renovations without the permit. The initial inspection happened on 2/28 of 2020. Notice to the respondent went out the same day, given a compliance date and extension of 3/13/2020. Executive order went in suspended tolling on 3/17/2020 and was lifted on 3/1 of 21. Site visits were performed on 2/28 of 2020, 3/16 of 2021, 5/6 of 2021, also via computer, multiple dates. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website showing that Roberto Infante is actual property owner. This is a copy of the certified return receipt received on 4/7 of 21. These are the exterior renovations taken on 2/28.
What's he doing?
This was an actual fire loss to begin with, and during routine inspections, when our inspectors went out there, they noticed that they were building.
So he's adding on to the home?
I think he's repairing. I can't really tell if I don't know what it looked like beforehand.
Okay.
But they've done interior and exterior renovations.
How did you get it? He let you
The
in?
inspector was in there during an inspection.
Okay.
These came from a routine inspection.
Okay.
And there is the interior of it on 2/26 of 2020. And just a picture of some of the materials that they're using. And the exterior of it here on 3/17/2021. And again, you can see they've added new windows and exterior renovations.
And there's no permits for any work?
They've just applied for a permit, and it was approved. However, they've not paid for it or picked it up.
Gotcha. Okay.
And this is a picture of the side on the inspection on 5/6 of 2021. And again, inspections on 5/6 of 2021. And as of this date, they've got a permit sitting there currently right now that came in on 2/3 of 20. That's sitting in approved status, but they have not picked it up. And I can see there are fees that are owed for picking up this permit for the work that's been done. This is a copy of the Seminole County Chapter 40 Appendix A regarding the permitting process. The recommendation based on the testimony and evidence presented in this case number 2105 CESM, it's determined that the respondent is the record owner of the property located at 3622 Leota Drive, Apopka, in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. This concludes my presentation.
Okay, so I'm a little bit confused because the permit was approved on February 3rd of 2020.
Correct.
and he got noticed with a violation after the permit was approved. So he did pull a permit before he did the work, or before, like-
When I'm looking at this here, there's work that's being done without a permit.
so the permit doesn't cover the work?
Unless it's issued, you don't have a permit on hand. You have to pay for the fees, and you have to have the permit issued.
Okay, so this was not issued, it's there?
That's correct.
And issued is after he picks it up and pays?
Correct. That happens quite often, where air condition companies will come in, install an air conditioner, permits are not in the system yet, and then a month or two later, it'll come in that they actually installed it and applied for the permit. I've stopped a couple of them. Our building official will stand for, that's a hypothetical example, but
Right.
in Florida, we don't want to do without our heat, we're elderly.
Right.
So they'll, a lot of times before the permit's issued, which is really working without a permit, it has to be issued in hand and paid for all fees before you can consider your permit is in hand, which is why our...
Does the property, have you had conversations? I'm just curious if he understands that a daily fine on his property is going to cost more than the permit that's already sitting there waiting for him.
I've never heard from this property owner. The permit techs will email them and also call them to let them know their permits are ready.
Okay.
And this does happen from time to time. I mean, it's a pretty high fee that he's got there waiting on him, but I don't know what the status is either.
Oh, okay. What is the cost of the permit? Trying to understand.
So far, the totals were $2,139.05. What's owed is $1,851.55.
Okay, so we've never talked to him. I'm not sure, when we sent the original notice of violation in February, does it explain, like, you need to come pick up your permits? You're not in compliance with
You
code?
need to apply for the permit and have it approved in hand, is what it tells them. The status date for approval was on 4/30 of 2021, which tells me whatever they submitted
Yeah.
originally held them up, and so there probably was communication back and forth with staff on, I'm sure, engineered plans and drawings, since it was a fire loss and damage report. They probably are waiting on insurance for a lot of this, but in the meantime, they're doing the work.
I understand. Okay, well, if he hasn't paid for or picked up his permits, then he is in violation, so I will go ahead and, thank you. Yeah. This is a copy of the notice of violation. Okay. And it clearly tells him to obtain the permits. So I will go ahead and issue staff's recommended order, 60 days. He has until July 14th. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe our last case of the day is 2107 CESM, Kimberly Crow, per rep for Frenchie Sanders, personal rep for Frenchie Sanders.
Yes. For the record, name is Vicki Hathaway, Seminole County Building Inspector for Seminole County Building Division. This is in regards to case number 2107 CESM, Kimberly K. Crow, for 111 Mohawk Lane, Altamont Springs, Seminole County, Florida. Violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. The description of the unpermitted violation is demolition of a mobile home without the required permit. The initial inspection was done on 2/3 of 2020. Notice to the respondent went out on 2/3 of 2020 as well, given a compliance date of, that should be 3/18 of 2020, not 2/18. Executive order was suspended on 3/17 of 2020 and lifted on 3/1 of 2021. Several site visits were done. The first one was on 02/03 of 2020, 3/16 of 2021, 4/30 of 2021, and also on 5/6 of 2021. The violation still remained on the property as far as the demolition of the mobile home, and no permits have been received at this point in time. This is a copy of the property appraiser's website showing that Kimberly Crow is the representative for Frenchie M. Sanders. This is a copy of the posted hearing notice on the property that was done on 4/30 of 2021. This is the original picture that was done from the debris of demolishing the mobile home taken on 2/3 of 2020. Again, on 2/3 of 2020, the debris from the demolition of the mobile home without a permit. Again, same kind of pictures. Land where the mobile home used to be taken on 3/17 of 2021. Again, on 4/30 of 2021. That should show right there that that is actually a blank spot now, or blank canvas, where the debris has been cleaned up. No permits have been issued to correct the violation. I think this originally started as a code enforcement case, so they thought the best way to clean it up was just to demolish the trailer. This is a copy of the Seminole County Chapter 40 Appendix A regarding the permitting process. The recommendation based on the testimony and the evidence presented in the case number of 2107 CESM is determined that the respondent is the record holder of the property located at 111 Mohawk Lane, Altamont Springs in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It's further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before July 14th of 2021. In order to correct the violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permits for the cited violation. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Okay, so ordered.
Thank you.
Okay. And there are no further cases, correct? That was approved, the 11th? Oh, excellent. Okay, so I will go ahead and approve the minutes from our last hearing date, which was March 11th, 2021. Oh. All right. And additionally, we will approve the minutes of March 12th, 2020. We're going to confirm the next meeting date is going to be June 11th, 2021. So we'll be correcting the agenda, which currently says the 10th. We have changed that to June 11th, 2021 at 1:30 p.m. And this is now adjourned.